Do you want to improve your car's performance, but you don't have a lot of money to spend? Well, you've come to the right place because we're going to talk about it. All right, let's start with the engine. This is the one everyone gets excited about. So there are a lot of different things you could do to improve the power output of your engine. I do want to caution you that if you decide to boost the horsepower, the torque of your car, you can expect everything to wear out faster. So basically, if you're going to push your car to its limits, then you can expect to be spending more on repairs for just about everything: brakes, tires, suspension, transmission, pretty much everything. So take that into consideration, especially if you're on a budget and if you need your car to get you to work or school. Then maybe think twice about some of the modifications to the engine that we're going to talk about. First thing I would recommend, especially if you're going to make some modifications to increase the power, is to make sure that your maintenance is up to date. In fact, if you are on a budget, you're probably driving a higher mileage engine. So I would say first things first is to make sure the engine maintenance is up to date. That way, if you do decide to add some modifications, that the engine will be able to handle it. So if you are close to being due for a timing belt change, definitely do that first before trying to push more power out of your engine. And also, some high mileage engines, there may be places where the power is being lost due to maintenance. Like, for example, after 3,000 miles on an oil change, there is a slight loss of power from the engine, and just by changing the oil and filter, that can restore that. Having worn out spark plugs can cause you not to have as much power out of the engine as you should. Having vacuum leaks, having exhaust leaks, especially near the catalytic converter or the oxygen sensors, those can make the engine not run right. If you have a bad ignition coil, it's misfiring. Definitely want to get all that stuff taken care of before you start making modifications to improve the power, because if you do that without having your maintenance up to date, those maintenance items or leaks, stuff that needs to be repaired, those can get worse a lot faster. So I would definitely get that stuff taken care of first, and that might actually take up all of your engine budget if your car's high mileage and a little bit neglected. By doing the maintenance, not only will your engine be more reliable, but there could be missing power that you're missing out on, and it can be restored by taking care of those maintenance items. Like, I just did a fuel injector cleaning and new spark plugs for a customer, and he was very happy with the results, the power that he didn't even know he was missing, and he doesn't have any other modifications. He just wants his truck to be reliable, and having it perform even better than he expected is just a nice bonus. So maintenance, sound like a broken record, but take care of that first. So as far as modifications to the engine, there's not a whole lot you can do on a budget with the actual engine. They are already very well tuned from the manufacturer, most modern engines, to give you the most power and fuel economy that you can get from a small engine. Like, a lot of modern cars have a very small 4-cylinder engine with a turbo, so that they can provide customers with the power that they expect, but still have decent fuel economy and meet government requirements for fuel economy and guidelines. So take that into consideration, that you're not going to get a huge boost from a stock engine. But there are some things you can do, like there are cold air intakes. Sometimes I call them hot air intakes, because a lot of them, the way they're designed, they basically draw in air from the engine bay, which is kind of heated from the engine running, instead of like a stock air tube intake will draw in fresh air, cold air from the front of the car. So the less restrictive performance filters can definitely help improve the performance, but one thing to keep in mind with those type of filters is a lot of them are reusable, and so you do have to maintain them instead of just throwing away the old dirty paper filter like you would. You have to clean them and oil them, and that's a lot of extra steps that people don't always realize that they're going to have to do with those type of filters. So be prepared to do a little extra maintenance if you're trying to get some speed out of your car. So the cold air intake is okay. Also, once again, with a less restrictive filter, you're probably going to get more contaminants from the air in your engine, and so staying on top of your maintenance is even more important. And for that reason, I don't usually recommend them if people need to rely on their cars. Usually just getting the maintenance up to date using a clean paper filter like the comes from the factory is a good idea. So that's one thing you can do. The other first step a lot of people want to do with their car is exhaust upgrades. And I will tell you that the biggest restriction in your exhaust is going to be the catalytic converter, which you can't really take catalytic converter off and comply with the law. So knowing that, any exhaust kit, like a catback exhaust set, that's new exhaust components from the catalytic converter back to the tailpipe. Those aren't going to be really effective because the catalytic converter is where the most restriction is. You can get a performance catalytic converter that starts to get expensive, and your car will have to be tuned in order to take advantage of that better flowing exhaust, but that's a possibility. The third thing I want to mention is tuners. There are inexpensive tuners that you can plug into your DLC, the diagnostic link connector. It's also known as the OBD port. So they are these little plastic boxes that you can plug into your OBD port on your car, and it will start to change the characteristics like ignition timing, fuel injection, stuff like that, shift points on your car to improve performance. Some of them do improve performance. They can also improve fuel economy in some cases. Some of them do both. But I don't recommend people do this because there is a small chance that a tuner can damage the control module, engine control module. It doesn't happen very often, but if you use those and you have an issue with your engine not running right, the first thing we're going to do at a mechanic shop is take that stuff off. Recommend you go back to factory components, factory settings, and see if we can get it to run right. So it can cost more to fix if you have an issue with your engine if you're using a tuner. So the tuners are really popular with diesel truck owners. They can change the characteristics for towing, and there's a big market for that. I know I have a customer that uses a tuner on his diesel truck and loves it. He tows an RV in the mountains. So there's a place for them. I don't recommend it. As a matter of fact, he had a problem with his tuner. I had to remove it in order for his truck to be able to start and run. So that's just something to keep in mind, that if you're on a budget, you might end up having to spend more than you thought because of these modifications that you've done. So if somebody is looking to improve the performance of their car, I would say for the engine, let's do the maintenance that's required, get it up to date, and that might go a long way in improving the performance of your engine and the output. I would recommend that there are a lot of really good, cool upgrades in the suspension, tires, and brakes that can not only improve your performance, but are a good way to improve the reliability of your car if you're replacing worn out suspension components. So we'll talk about that next. Well, that does it for the engine upgrades. I hope you found this information useful. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. We'll talk about steering and suspension. Thanks for watching.